Taysir Tas Abu Sada, the founder and director of Hope for Ishmael, was born in Gaza and raised in Saudi Arabia and Qatar before running away from home at the age of 17 and eventually becoming a PLO sniper for Yasser Arafat. In 1974, Tas moved to the United States to study at the University of Missouri and met and married an American girl, Karen. Then, in 1993, Tas experienced a powerful conversion to Christianity and now has a love for the Jewish people he had hated so strongly in his youth. Since that time, Tas and Karen, who experienced her own renewal of faith, felt a profound calling to reconcile Muslims to the Father and then to all people through the gospel of Jesus Christ.
We went through an amazing transformation as a family, really, in our own private lives too, that we knew right away this wasn't just for us to keep, that this was bigger.
In Genesis 17 through 21, when God made the covenant with Abraham that Isaac would be the son God chose as Abraham's heir, Abraham cried out to God to bless Ishmael as well. Not only did God bless Ishmael, but he made a promise to Abraham that Ishmael would be the father of 12 rulers that would become a great nation. Ishmael was put out of the camp by his own father and stands at the edge, waiting to be welcomed back through Jesus. Today, there is one missionary per 500,000 Muslims in the Middle East. Hope for Ishmael financially supports partners who are on the ground in Gaza and the West Bank, serving the Muslim community in practical, life-changing ways. This has led to the salvation of over 100 Muslims and counting. They are the hands and feet of the gospel in the Holy Land. It is the belief of Hope for Ishmael that once individual peace is found through Christ, reconciliation of the house of Isaac and the house of Ishmael can happen. Peace in the Holy Land is possible only through the Prince of Peace. The vision of Hope for Ishmael is to partner with churches and organizations that share a desire to plant the hope and peace of Jesus Christ among the Muslims in the U.S. and Europe. God is unleashing His truth among Muslims around the world through visions and dreams, stirring hearts towards His love. Hope for Ishmael believes reconciliation is possible by training believers in congregations to reach out in love to Muslims in their communities.
We call for partners. We call for people who really sold on building the kingdom. It's not just the projects that we do, it's the people within the projects itself that receives that help. And so we ask friends to engage with us, to stand with us.
Hope for Ishmael has produced a multitude of important initiatives over the past 20 years. Tas and Karen moved to Gaza to reach out to their Muslim neighbors, resulting in over 100 conversions to Christianity. However, because of threats from Hamas, Tas and Karen relocated to Jericho in the West Bank, where they founded Seeds of Hope. Seeds of Hope works to bring long-term change to families through education, economic development, cultural exchange, and humanitarian aid. The impact of Seeds of Hope can be seen all over Jericho and even all the way to Jerusalem. Kingdom First, which was started in 2013, focuses on forgiveness and reconciliation among Jews and Palestinians in the Holy Land. At the foundation of Kingdom First is the idea that before conflict over land can be overcome, believers need to be reconciled to each other. Additionally, Hope for Ishmael Tours was formed to provide believers a unique perspective on the Holy Land. The tours, which are led by Tas and Karen Sada, give travelers an experience that includes both the dead and living stones in the Holy Land. Hope for Ishmael continues to support Muslim background believers, converts to Christianity from Islam, the most vulnerable members of the persecuted church, both materially and spiritually, as they not only endure poverty and violence, but also the threat of retaliation because of their faith in Jesus Christ.
مع تأكيد القول والتحديد والقتل ولا أريد أن أقول ماذا سأقول من تعنيف جسدي وروحي ونفسي وعقلي. لكن كنت أصلي دائما بأن الرب معي، وقلت أني سأخرج من هذا المأزق ما دام الرب معي.
While continuing to live in the Holy Land, Tas and Karen were witnessing an influx of Muslim immigrants to the U.S. and Europe. They wondered whether the church was ready to reach out to them, responding to that need, while also understanding the unique experience Hope for Ishmael could offer the church in reaching out to these newcomers. Tas and Karen relocated back to the U.S. and created a new initiative, Lead with Love.
The heart of Lead with Love is literally to just be available in the Muslim community and to love well.
In the coming years, through their various initiatives, HFI has specific, measurable impact goals it aims to achieve with your help. Additionally, the HFI team maintains a full schedule of speaking engagements at churches, retreats, and conferences worldwide.
Having shared about all of these initiatives that God have called us for, naturally the financial burden is huge. Supporting the work that God has called us to do, we call for partners. But bigger than that is the need for prayers. The support in prayers is the only reason I believe my wife and my family and myself in particular are still alive, because of the faithful prayer people that have been covering us in prayers.
Please listen carefully to what I'm saying right now. The hope for Ishmael, the hope of the Arab people, is the hope for Israel, is the hope of the Jews. Because when the Arab people get their peace, Israel will have their peace. And the hope for Ishmael is the hope for Israel, and the hope for Israel is the hope of the world. And the hope of the world is what? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
My name is Johan Hinderly, and I'm on the board with Tas and Karen for Hope for Ishmael. As you heard him say, the hope for Ishmael is the hope of Israel, and the hope of Israel is the hope of the world, and the hope of the world is Jesus. That's why I'm on this board. When I first met them in Jericho, I realized they were doing something great to change people's lives. And what they're showing me is that I can do something great to change lives where I live, because Muslims are coming into our neighborhoods, and we can bring them the hope of the world, Jesus, through Hope for Ishmael. To do this, we need your support. Send in your gift today. Your contribution will make it possible for us to bring about life-changing experiences, not only in your neighborhood, but throughout the world. Thank you for giving to Hope for Ishmael.